Look at this. It's a massive spike that comes out. How many rams do you get with that?
Probably not enough. 4 or 5, 5 or 6.
Right.
Hey guys, I'm Mance9132, I'm the Robot Wars Guru. I'm gonna be honest guys, I've decided to retire my robot review videos. I know, that saddens at least 2 people, but the matter of the fact is this. I've barely built an Antway and that sums up my entire roboteering career. I haven't even entered a competition yet, without leeching onto someone else's hard work anyway. In short, what right do I have to critique a robot? Sure, everyone is entitled to an opinion and I'm happy to voice that, but how can I logistically and fairly give criticism to someone's design choices if I have no experience myself? In short, I can't, and whilst I'll still be uploading videos where I give my personal thoughts on a robot, I've decided the days where I review and critique them are over. However, this is the final episode of the second series of this show, and I decided that it would make sense to say goodbye to the robot reviews with one last banger. And it just so happens that there is a robot that has managed to slip my radar for a while now. A robot so bad it makes my nipples lactate in fear. A robot so bad that watching it fight brings a pain similar to that of watching the Shuntcast. I'm of course talking about the incredibly bland, enragingly awful, and titanically terrible Series 7 competitor, Cobra. Series 7 was an odd time Robot Wars' timeline. The times they were a-changing as many hard-hitting robots from the days past were slowly being outdated by younger blood, leading to many long-time competitors deciding not to enter the 7th Wars. This was actually a good thing in the long run as it gave several experienced teams plus several new machines a chance to shine and prove themselves. It also meant the field was open for the producers to introduce some exciting newcomers to the mix. Sadly though, it seems that no one gave them the bloody memo because Cobra also got accepted. Now I highly doubt the person who made that choice is watching this video, but if you are, I want you, yes you, to look in the mirror, look yourself in the eyes, remember that decision, and think to yourself, I fucked up. Of all the robots to be granted a place on Robot Wars, this is the one that baffles me the most. Even Dr. Fist has more of a reason to be in the arena. Yes, I said that. Surely it can't be that bad, right? Let's get into the review and find out. I'm way too sober for this. Cobra was very well designed. For a Series 2 robot, sadly it takes a little bit more than a silver box to be good by Series 7 standards though. It was well armoured in titanium, so I'll give it that, but it was just so exposed. Its weapon, and trust me, I'll be going into more detail about this later, was a small stabbing spike with barely any range. This meant the rest of the robot was heavily exposed. It's literally a big box. It would be weak to all weapon types. Horizontal spinners would enjoy tearing up the sides, axes and crushers would have no problem exposing the flat top, and flippers would easily get under its enormous ground clearance. Even its wheels were a hindrance. The team decided to line them with golf shoe studs, much like Wheelie Big Cheese, for more grip. Sadly though, this allowed said reels to draw wood debris off the arena floor and into the robot's internals. I've never heard of a robot where its wheels hinder it. I'm almost impressed by that amount of ineptitude. It pains me to do this, it really does, but I honestly can't go higher than -1 out of 5 here. When a robot's wheels are one of its issues, you know you've fucked up. Oh boy, it's time to discuss this shit. So, as I mentioned a few moments ago, Cobra's weapon was a stabbing spike. You know, that weapon that was last useful in Series 3. But aside from how outdated it was, there's another issue with this weapon. It could only fire about 6 or 7 times a fight. No, I'm not making that up. For crying out loud, I know I said that Cobra would have been well designed for Series 2, but even in Series 2 this would have been laughable. Let's get this straight. You have a weapon that has minimal range and is outdated by several years, and you decide to give it 7 stabs a fight. That's not even double figures! To put that into perspective, many thought that Raging Nightmare were being risky with only 25 flips per fight. This is 18 less than that! For Series 7, that's inexcusable. -1 out of 5. If you were to look up the word unreliable in the dictionary, beneath it you would see The word not able to be relied on, which sums up Cobra perfectly. Oh come on, even I'm above that joke. But yeah, Cobra's reliability was as existent as my love for Marmite and pink robots. Non-fucking existent. In its one and only battle, it made contact with Chronic once, got flipped, and then died on one side. That's it. Now to be fair, it's hard to be too judgmental on just one performance. Is what I would say if it wasn't for Techno Games. In the 2002 series of the show, Cobra competed in the Assault Course event against Hellbent. In its run, you can see it drive straight into a barrier and then loses drive on one side. That tells me that this machine wasn't able to drive into something without conking out. Unfortunately, in robot combat, you have to drive into other robots in order to attack them. They made a robot that couldn't attack anything because it would break down if they did. How did this thing qualify? -1 out of 5. I mean, fuck me sideways with a spanner. It's a grey box. That's it. Oh, it did have a plushy snake head on it. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Look, a grey box is a grey box. With a name like Cobra, would a lick of paint have been too much to ask? Maybe a snake logo? Hell, even the robot's name in Comic Sans would have done. And unlike most robots out there, it didn't even make a fist of it. It died within 10 seconds of its only fight in the most lackluster way possible. I honestly can't go minus figures here, but it's a solid 0 out of 5 from me, giving Cobra a dismal rating of -3 out of 20. Believe it or not, despite all these failings, they're not the reason I dislike Cobra. A robot can have all of the faults I previously mentioned as long as it provides some entertainment by being smashed up or looking good on camera, but Cobra doesn't even do that. Its biggest crime for me is that it's so boring. It's Coldplay in robot form. I don't get why it was let into the show because I can't see how it would offer anything special. I'm fine with crap robots getting on TV if they look good getting smashed up, but I doubt Cobra would even manage that. I can't see what it could add that Terminator, G-Man or Cruncher wouldn't have done better. At the end of the day, the main idea of robot combat is to entertain people, and Cobra did everything in its power to not do that. I can look past its crap weapon, its woeful reliability and its lack of character, but the fact that it's so bland, basic and dull just makes me feel disdain looking at it, though I still have respect for its builders. In all fairness, they managed to get a robot onto Robot Wars and compete with it, which is more than can be said for me and my lack of experience. So, hats off to you gents. And it's not the team's fault. They did everything in their power to make a robot, and whilst it was way below the bar for the time, they at least tried. The team aren't to blame here, the producers are for letting it get screen time in the first place. And, in all fairness, they at least admitted that their robot was heavily flawed. I can't really ask more than that. And that's it for all robot reviews and this video. Do you agree with me, or do you of course you agree with me, who the fuck wouldn't? What are your thoughts on Cobra? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, I'm Lance9132 the Robot Wars Guru, and I'll see you next time.